right, so we are post-sparge. All we're doing is lautering grain over here. So we don't need any more hot liquor tank water. We close that valve. So what I'm going to do is I always close water pressure behind it. There's not a lot, but there's a little gravity pressure right here. And so you're going to loosen that more, let that bleed out, and then just drop it down to just let it swing down to the floor after that, or toward the floor after that. So right now we have our sparge done, and we're just reworking the diverter panel here on the brew house. I have Josh doing that. We don't need to be routing water from the hot liquor tank toward the mash tun anymore. And so the next portion of it is to actually route it toward the heat exchanger and the whirlpool arm. So we're going to be doing that. You're going to see us rebuild that a little bit later. But what I want to do is I actually want to cover that up, because that portion of the diverter panel, because we're going to be graining out in a little while, and I don't want any grain, anything like that, splashing in any of those open sources. You're going to see us break that down again later, but that's why we're covering those ports right now. We're looking good. We're at 11 barrels. We still might be tracking just a hair fast, but we'll probably be fine. All right, so do you guys have a couple seconds to think with me?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to be knocking down the temperature of the kettle post-boil. Ultimately, we're going to be running through the heat exchanger and then back into the kettle, okay? We're not going to use that union. What are we going to use instead? And remember, what we're going to do is we're going to use elbows.
Right.
So we're going to do converter. This is going to be right here.
Yeah.
And this is going to be 10-foot hose loop back to over here. And then what do we want to have built in on that far side?
Oh, a block.
Yeah, we're going to want a block over there and a sight glass. So, but we're including that in the block, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Conceptually, we're including that.
Yes.
Because we know that there's going to be hops in there,
yeah.
and I don't want to be blasting that back through everything like that.
Right.
No, we're going to use, well, actually we'll take it off the tank, and we're going to have the arm built off it, so we can get that extension into Sani right now that we're going to use. But the reason I still have the union on there is because I want to keep those ports clean for when we're graining out. The reason that I'm having this installed is I want this port and this port to be clean and not be getting splash and grain and everything from there, okay? So I'm going to have you build it later, so we're just covering these ports because we already ran Sani through there and we want it all to stay sanitary. That loop is there so I can control and stop. So when we stop the whirlpool, we have so much hops going into the kettle. I want to be able to blow off those hops instead of sending them to the heat exchanger and clogging the heat exchanger. So this is our way of cutting into here and blowing out some hops to the drain before we just start sending a big slug of hops to the heat exchanger. Everything looks good. I'm not seeing anything that's making me nervous. I'm not seeing too much pull.
Okay.
And really, we'll just wait longer, and I think it'll balance back out again. But no, your instincts are right though. You're having the right thoughts, for sure. We are going to want built out because we are going to want to crash this kettle as fast as we can. We are going to want hoses built out from the cold liquor tank to the diverter panel. I think that's really going to be the majority. You guys are going to be tracking this, and you have some experience with this too.
Yeah.
So start kind of mentally plug in with where he's going here too, and you can kind of mentor that process as well, okay?
This right here is the source of where the
appetite.